There's a planet right next to us that is spinning faster than it should, breathing a gas it shouldn't have, and hiding something under its ice that NASA still can't explain. We've sent rovers, landers, and orbiters to Mars for over 50 years, and instead of answers, we just keep finding new ways the red planet refuses to make sense. These are 6 mysteries about Mars that scientists genuinely cannot solve, starting with the planet itself, the speed up. In 2018, NASA dropped a lander called InSight onto the Martian surface with one job: listen to the planet's insides. What it found broke the model scientists had been using for decades. Mars's rotation is speeding up. Not by a dramatic amount, but enough that astronomers can measure it, and enough that it shouldn't be happening at all. InSight also revealed Mars has no solid inner core. The entire core is liquid, iron, and sulfur, almost 1,200 miles wide, sloshing inside the planet like a half-cooked egg. That liquid core is why Mars lost its global magnetic field 3 billion years ago, leaving the surface exposed to radiation. But a liquid core doesn't explain why the whole planet is gaining speed. Some scientists think ice building up at the poles is shifting Mars's mass. Others think something is moving deep inside it that we can't see. Imagine your own days getting shorter. Not because of anything you're doing, but because the ground underneath you is quietly accelerating for reasons nobody can identify. That's Mars right now. The midnight pulses. And it doesn't stop at that speed. Bury a magnetometer in the dirt at InSight's landing site, and you find something even stranger. Mars is still magnetic, even though its global field died billions of years ago. Patches of ancient, magnetized rock sit buried under the surface, and InSight detected signals 10 times stronger than orbiters ever predicted. But here's the part that shouldn't happen. That field isn't constant. It pulses. Every night, almost exactly around midnight, the signal suddenly shifts, like the ground itself is exhaling. One theory is that the solar wind, charged particles streaming off the sun, drags on Mars's thin atmosphere in a way that tugs the buried magnetism awake after dark. But that's a guess, not an answer. So picture standing on Mars at night, total silence, on a planet that supposedly lost its magnetic heartbeat eons ago, and feeling it flicker back to life right beneath your feet. That's a real reading, from a real instrument, that scientists still can't fully explain. The vanishing methane. And it's not just the ground that's behaving strangely, the air above it is too. In 2003, a European orbiter detected methane in Mars's atmosphere, and that discovery should have changed everything. On Earth, almost all methane comes from living things, and on Mars, sunlight destroys methane in roughly 300 years. If it's still there, something has to be making it right now. NASA's Curiosity rover picked up the trail, finding methane spikes at Gale Crater that rise every Martian summer and vanish every winter, like the planet is breathing on a schedule. But Europe's Trace Gas Orbiter, built specifically to hunt this methane from above, found almost nothing, levels up to 100 times lower than what Curiosity reads from the ground. One mission says Mars is exhaling. Another, flying directly overhead, says there's barely anything there. Both instruments work fine. Both datasets are real. Nobody can explain how Mars releases a gas tied to biology in one spot and erases all traces of it everywhere else. The oxygen swings. If the methane mystery wasn't strange enough, Curiosity found something that made it worse. While testing the air at Gale Crater for nearly 3 Martian years, the rover tracked every major gas, and almost all of them behaved exactly as predicted, except oxygen. Every spring and summer, oxygen levels spike up to 30% above normal, then crash back down once the season turns. There is no known chemical process on Mars that can create or destroy that much oxygen that fast. NASA's own team checked the instruments for errors and tested every explanation they had and came up empty. Here's why that matters. On Earth, an atmosphere with both oxygen and methane rising and falling together is usually a signature of something alive, constantly replenishing both gases. Nobody is claiming there's life on Mars. But 2 of the most biologically significant gases in the solar system are misbehaving on the same planet, on the same seasonal clock, with no explanation that doesn't involve some unknown source we haven't found yet, the hidden lake. If gases that hint at life weren't unsettling enough, in 2018 scientists found something under Mars's south pole that made headlines worldwide. A European orbiter aimed radar nearly a mile beneath the polar ice and picked up an unusually bright, sharp reflection, stretching about 12 miles across. On Earth, that exact radar signature almost always means one thing: liquid water trapped beneath ice, like the hidden lakes under Antarctica. Scientists proposed Mars might be hiding a salty underground lake, kept liquid by minerals even at freezing temperatures. It was, briefly, one of the most exciting discoveries in the search for life beyond Earth. Then, in 2021, NASA aimed a second, more advanced radar at the exact same spot, tilting the spacecraft for maximum power. The bright reflection that suggested a lake was barely there. Now scientists are stuck between 2 instruments, giving 2 different answers about the same patch of ground. Is there really a hidden ocean buried under another planet's ice cap? Or did we misread the rock beneath it? Nobody has settled it. The moons that don't add up. And the mysteries don't stop on the surface. Look up, and even Mars's 2 moons don't make sense. Phobos and Deimos are small, lumpy, and cratered, barely 20 kilometers across, looking more like asteroids than actual moons. Their chemical makeup matches carbon-rich asteroids almost exactly, suggesting Mars simply captured them with its gravity as they drifted by. But their orbits tell a different story. Both moons circle Mars in nearly perfect circles, lined up precisely with its equator, exactly what you'd expect if they were never asteroids at all, but debris flung into orbit after something massive slammed into Mars billions of years ago. 2 moons, 2 competing origin stories, and physics that doesn't fully back either one. NASA itself calls it a long-running, unresolved debate. So Japan is sending a spacecraft called MMX to land on Phobos, scoop up a sample, and bring it back to Earth by 2029 to finally settle which story is true. Spin it up, listen to its pulse, sniff its air, scan its ice, and look at its moons, and at every level, Mars gives us a different reason to be confused. Its core won't explain its speed. Its dead magnetic field still has a heartbeat. Its air contradicts itself. Its ice might be hiding an ocean. Even its own moons can't agree on how they got there. We've studied Mars for over 50 years, and it has only become harder to explain, not easier. If one of these mysteries keeps you up at night, drop it in the comments, and subscribe if you want to be here when one of these missions finally gets us an answer.